From Delaware Bay to Puget Sound, America's coasts are experiencing the impacts of climate change. Rising waters and dramatic weather events occur more often, regularly challenging the shorelines where many Americans live, work, and play. Bulkheads and revetments have been traditionally used to protect these areas, clearly delineating land from sea. Yet it's becoming increasingly evident that this historic response is not always the most desirable over time.
When people think about coastal restoration or protecting our coastlines, historically they think about the land, conserving the land. They look at the land, they want the land to stay there, so they build walls to protect the land. But what people have come to understand that when you separate the land from the water, you compromise the health of your land.
Hardened structures stand firm and predictably absorb the sea's energy. But dynamic coastal forces eventually take their toll on these barriers, and often the land they were built to protect, a fact now recognized nationwide.
We didn't understand a lot about beach processes, particularly in Puget Sound. It's an incredibly unique area. The beach processes here are equally incredibly unique. And we really just have understood that more and more in the last couple of decades.
Armed with this better understanding, homeowners, contractors, engineers, and ecologists are now implementing innovative shoreline protection projects around the country. While their materials and terminology are unique to their local coasts, their strategies are grounded in a shared knowledge that they are working with a living shoreline.
The elements of Living Shoreline projects are nature-based, so mimicking the types of coastal habitats that occur in that local area.
It uses nature and the benefits of nature as the resiliency tactic. So the long-term stabilization is the plants and the animals that do provide those increased ecological benefits.
Given the diversity of America's coastal habitats, each Living Shoreline project, such as the one in Bethany Beach, Delaware, begins with an assessment, usually conducted by a coastal engineer.
Every Living Shoreline has its own little story behind it, and when I say that is that to do a proper design, you have to understand what's happening out at what's causing the erosion, what's happened historically. And that tells a story, and also it tells us what nature's trying to do to be resilient.
In Bethany, winter north winds push waves directly onshore, while summer currents strip sediment from the beach. Using Doug's designs, local homeowners, the Delaware Center for Inland Bays, and state agencies constructed 2 living shoreline systems, one offshore to break up incoming waves, and a second using fixed logs to slow the water moving along the shoreline. Both systems are now working, rebuilding the land and addressing the community's initial concern.
We've stopped the erosion, which was the main part, and the second part is to widen it and get it widened. So we're really happy with what the center did, what the architect did.
So what Living Shoreline actually is doing, it actually uses natural processes and helps nature help itself.
Meanwhile, on America's west coast, on Orcas Island in Puget Sound, Washington homeowners are choosing more natural solutions to their shoreline erosion problem.
We decided on this solution because we'd seen how very successful it was for my cousin and the neighbor families.
There used to be an old cabin here very close to the beach, and there was a berm through here that was really a form of a bulkhead.
Jim recommended removal of the old berm, adding gravel to the natural stone beach, placing driftwood and adding soil behind the beach, stabilized with native plantings.
Since then, the beach has been moving up and down. There's been the dune grass edge has been changed a few times, but we've seen that this has remained pretty much stable while the beach in front come and go with the storms which come from several different directions here.
But there are some places where shorelines are relatively stable. These should be left natural and undisturbed. It's only when they threaten property and habitat that designing a living shoreline should be considered, which begins with a study of the unique local ecology.
You have so many different criteria and parameters that go into each location. So depending on what your tidal range is, the sea level rise, the type of soil that you have in the area, the native plants and native animals.
Such knowledge informs eco-friendly engineered designs and is also bringing together the two very different disciplines.
We really do need sort of the mixing of the engineers and the ecologists, so that's part of the reason I brought my engineering students down here to work with Danielle's group and the ecologists at PDE.
Collaborations such as these are producing critical environmental data, which is informing and easing local, state, and federal permitting requirements.
We have some people who are dedicated to try and learn more about it so that they can be assigned to these type of projects and work closely with the state agencies and the federal resource agencies as well.
Marine contractors are also needed to work with these partners and implement these new designs.
Anybody who can do a bulkhead, can do a jetty or a breakwater, can install Living Shoreline. All they need to do is have an ecologist on the team to help them along the way.
And because they require periodic maintenance, Living Shorelines offer marine contractors a new business model.
I look at it as an opportunity. It's kind of like your furnace at home. You enter into a service agreement, where a company is signed to basically maintain that.
When we first got started, we started doing it the wrong way down here, putting in the stakes at the wrong end.
Yet while experts and contractors play critical roles, each Living Shoreline solution must begin with a champion, a property owner who realizes their shoreline's value is based on the continued natural interaction of land and sea.
This whole area out here is birds, crabs, clams. A natural solution contributes to that and adds to that. A bulkheading or a riprap solution, doesn't contribute anything.
This property has been in my family since the late 1800s, and our total goal all along has been just to restore, to nurture, to preserve.
With a Living Shoreline, homeowners can now achieve these goals and protect their property. Instead of hardened structures, they can choose a softer solution, one that uses the forces of nature to build and maintain resiliency, while respecting the value of our coastal ecosystem. For more information on Living Shorelines, visit this website.